All right. Welcome to another YouTube video. Thanks to all those who have supported in the last couple of weeks. I've seen a lot of growth in the channel and I appreciate it. So again, if you guys enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that I've actually talked about a lot of times, like many times, but I always feel like I need to remind, like it's a reminder, right? A lot of times when we watch videos, a lot of the things that we watch, we already know about it. You know, it is something that we already know about. However, it's more like we just want to be reminded and reassured and things along those lines. So I really want to make this video. So 3 things that I do to kind of stay on top of it. Now, I always stress the fact that I'm a human being, you're a human being, and nobody's perfect, and we're all trying to strive to get better, right? And sometimes when online on the internet, we lose this perception because we look at people smiling, we see this, we see that, we think that everybody has everything figured out, and you yourself are sitting there like just depressed and not knowing what you're doing. So I wanted to share these things because even me, like sometimes I do fall. Many times I fall, not sometimes. I fall all the time, right? Sometimes I'm on top of it and sometimes I'm not on top of it. Sometimes I'm not on, exactly. So 3 things that I do to stay on top of it, right? The first one, show up, okay? I can't stress this enough. Showing up is probably the most important thing that you can do for anything, right? You know, like I said, I pray 5 times a day. Some of you guys already know that. Some of you guys don't, right? If I don't show up and I don't pray, what's that going to tell? What's that going to say? Like, like maybe I'm saying, oh, I don't feel like praying. Or maybe I'm like, oh man, I don't feel like, I'm feeling like sad and this and that. If I'm feeling sad, I should go pray, which is different. But I need to always show up. You know, when I show up and pray, you know, regardless of whether I'm praying a little too fast or if I'm not taking my time, prayer, it's always something that I'm always going to go back to. It's always something that I know in my head is something I can always go back to, and I should go back to. It just reinforces this sense of consistency. And anytime I do it, I realize this is amazing. I feel better after, right? So it could be anything, right? Even when I was in school, you know, the days I didn't want to go to school, I was like, man, I feel like I'm behind, this and that. And then I would just stress out like, oh man, I feel like if I have an exam or something. And then I go to class, I do really well. Like it's just like, and after that, I'm like, dude, what did you even stress about the whole time? And it's this exact same thing. Sometimes our mind will tell us different. Like our mind will be like, no, don't do it. Like, or you want to start something. And this is probably the case of like, I don't know the statistics, but it's a huge percentage of people that want to start something, but they don't, right? They want to start it, but there's something missing. Maybe I don't have the right camera. Maybe I don't have the right gear. Maybe I don't have the right lights. Maybe I don't have this and that, right? And from there, they don't start. And it keeps on going over and over and over. And that's a big one, right? The key is just to show up, right? Look at my first YouTube videos, right? You guys can go ahead and see the first video. It's very different to the video that is done today. And the videos 6 months later are going to be very different to the videos today. So the fact that I'm showing up and I'm always constantly trying to make videos, trying to improve the videos, trying to provide value for the audience, that is a key in itself. And consistency is key. You know, keep going, and obviously don't overwhelm yourself. Don't burn out. If you find that you're burning out, don't like stress yourself. What I mean here is you have this idea, you want to do something, but you just don't do it because you're scared or this and that. That's a different story, right? So that's my first thing. Show up, you know, whatever it is, like even if you're studying, you don't understand something, sit down and study and show up, watch some YouTube videos. If you don't understand, go to your teacher, just show up. Like even if you find that you're just sitting there looking at the textbook, like you're still studying, you're still showing up, right? You're gonna get there, right? But I could talk about this for ages, but I don't want to keep this video too long. If you guys really want to see me talk about this, I can go off and talk about this in another video. But yeah, anyways. So the second one, and I have my notes here, which I'm going to have. So it's the consistency. So this follows with showing up, right? Showing up is the concept of taking action, right? Consistency is to keep going, right? So I like to use motivation versus discipline, right? So when you're motivated, right? That's what gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you going. And I always emphasize this all the time. When you're motivated, you're like, yeah, I'm I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And then it's like being in a relationship, right? Or you're married, right? When you first meet this person, it's like all these like butterflies in your stomach, woo woo, all this stuff. Like, you're all like infatuated, and then all of a sudden, it just starts to. They say you lose a spark, right? I think it's just like that thing that, and all that infatuation's gone. The Disney movie's not there. The happily ever after, blah blah blah, right? And I completely forgot where I'm going with this, but the reality. Okay, yeah, like, there you go. Discipline. Okay, so what keeps you going is the discipline, the struggles, what you guys go through, the communication, learning more about each other. That's what keeps you going, and that's what keeps you improving. That's what improves your relationship. That's what improves your marriage. And the same thing with anything in life, right? Consistency is what's going to keep you improving, right? If you are at the gym, right? And you work out, you start working out, yeah, I'm making gains, and all of a sudden you start to plateau. After a while, your body's gonna change, and it's gonna be a little hard to make your gains or whatever it is, right? And that may discourage you from going to the gym again, right? But what happens is you have to just keep going and keep adapting and keep going, keep going, keep going. You'll learn. You understand, oh, why am I not gaining weight, or why am I not losing weight? You'll start to understand a little more. You'll start to do your research. You'll start to do this. You'll start to learn more and more and more and more. And that's how we all progress. Consistency, right? As I said before, the videos that I make now are not going to be the same videos that I make 6 months later. The videos that I made 2 years ago are not the same videos that I make today. And it's always going to change. We're always going to evolve. But if you want to evolve, you have to be consistent in whatever you're doing. So that's the key, the other key, right? Like, what is it? Like, you got to go to practice, 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 practice. Shout out to AI, we talking about practice. We ain't talking about a game. We talking about practice. All right. Anyways, guys, so that's the second one, okay? Second one over here in these streets. All right. So the third one is, and I have my notes again. I got to keep my notes, So the third one is to always learn, okay? Always learn, right? So the first two are very important because those are like, the first one is what gets you started. The second one is what keeps you going. The third one is what keeps you improving, right? So the reason why you want to always learn, right? Like, say I'm making YouTube videos, right? If I don't watch YouTube videos on how to improve my own videos, then I'm not going to progress. You could be making the same videos over and over and over again. And if they work, they work. That's amazing. However, you may want to switch up the content sometimes, or maybe you're experimenting. Like, I have like people that I'm always messaging, that we're always bouncing off ideas, and we're always trying to figure out, okay, well, how can I create some new types of content or things along those lines. So if you're going to the gym, you're trying to learn new exercise routines. You're always trying to learn new things, right? Even at the gym, for me, there's a lot of things that I don't know how to do. There's a lot of things that I want to learn how to do, or that I am learning how to do. Same thing with your career. If you land your dream job, right? Don't stop there, right? Keep going, keep learning, keep studying. Like, you don't have to obviously go back to school, but keep studying. Like, keep studying, improve in your field, just keep going. And that's what makes an excellent, that's what makes an excellent person to someone who just wants the job, or someone, the bare minimum, right? You do the bare minimum, or you can be at the top, right? You can be at the top 3% of whatever field you're in. And that's part of the reason why, even for me, personal training, I'm new to it, but I know that once 5 years come along, my skill level is gonna change completely, and 10 years from now, it's gonna change. 15 years, it's gonna keep improving. But I have to always keep learning and keep improving myself, and that's something that I think is very, very important for any human being, right? Whatever it is you're doing, right? And whether it's your faith, whether it's your work, whether it's your relationships, it could be anything. Those are like the keys for me personally that I use to stay on top of it. If I find that I'm feeling depressed, if I'm going through like certain depression, what I will do, I'll just start to show up. Even if I'm there with my textbook studying and I'm not really feeling like it, I'm like, instead of procrastinating, I'll just sit down, I'll look at the textbook, I'll read it through. All of a sudden, I get this momentum. I start reading more and more and more, right? And then from there, I stay consistent. You know what? Let's do this tomorrow, or let's do this in an hour, right? I keep going over and over and over again, right? And then after that, from there, I'm learning. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's figure out how to do this. Or maybe even my learning method, right? I just found out that I might be a cognitive learner. So I'm going to do a lot more research on that because I'm still trying to learn about my like personal like learning style. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to keep this video too long, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. And yeah, thanks for all the support. I really do appreciate it. If there's any kinds of videos that you'd like to see, let me know. Don't forget to stay authentic. Peace.